Hello, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and today is Hashtag Tuesday. This is a collaboration hosted by Sherry at Turquoise Dreaming, and you can check out other collaborators at Hashtag Tag Tuesday. And today I'm going to be making some tags out of a gift bag. And this is to go along with another project I am doing, but these colors went with the other components perfectly. Matter of fact, I have already cut apart the bag. This was the bottom of the bag, and it was a very thin cardboard, and that will work really well in different portions of the project. So this was a baby gift bag. My current project is not for a baby. So I am going to take this that has the perfect colors and use it to make some tags for my other project. And I am going to first take out this ribbon, and you know that that ribbon already goes with the paper, and it kind of is pushed through the hole, and then it is pulled back and it kind of makes a T, and that's what holds it in there. So if you'll just push that straight to where it is on the same line as the ribbon, you can push it back through the hole without a problem. And then this little tag I'm sure I can use too, because all I need to do is cover up the little sister. And let's see, this is popped up on a pop dot, but I think that it should come off pretty well, I say, before I even attempt to do it. Okay, there's a little bit of the pop dot foam, whatever it is, still there, but that won't be a problem to remove. And it doesn't matter that I tore that just a little bit, because it would be covered up anyway with what I like to do with my tags. I'm going to bring my little trash can over here so I'm not making a mess throwing everything up there. I shared this in a Thrifty Thursday some time ago, and I don't know if it was a planter or what, and I got it at Goodwill for $1. And it's the perfect little size trash can to go on top of my work surface, so I don't have to make a pile of trash and then transport it to the trash can or walk over to the trash can all the time. That's just a little tip there. Let's see. And this bag has different colored panels on the ends. So I am going to go ahead and cut off those panels so that I have all of my different prints separated so I can see what I've got to work with a little bit better. And these are my Tim Holtz tonic scissors. These are the long ones. I think that they are called 8-inch shears, but I'm not sure. I know he has a couple of different kinds of scissors. I don't have the other kinds. This is the particular pair that I have and that I use a lot because of the length of the blade, and they will cut through just almost anything. I won't say everything, but I have used them to cut through dowel rods with no problem. Okay, this is where the bag seam was. It was all one piece and then folded, and then this is where it overlapped. So that may have an impact on what I make. So I want to make sure that I pay attention to that being there. And it may make no difference at all. Now, up here, when you unfold the lip, you're going to have, most likely, another piece of cardstock, and that was just to strengthen the lip of the bag. We'll set that over here because we might use it. And this hanging tag that they put on so that the store can display them on the peg hooks. And sometimes they come off easily, and sometimes they will rip a hole in your bag. So just be prepared for either one. And I have yet to find a way to reuse these things. And I hate just always throwing them away, but I don't know what to do with them. If you have an idea, would you share it with me in the comments? I would appreciate that. I don't like to throw things away. Just ask my husband. Okie doke. So I am going to, first off, there is this line where the bag was folded right across here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I can't. Maybe if we turn it over, I don't know if you can see it any better. Maybe if I just fold on that line, it'll just show you where it is. Okay, now you can see it better. And all I did was emphasize it. I didn't make an extra fold where it was. I wonder, I don't know how this would tear, but that could be an interesting look since I'm going to, ouch, cut it apart anyway. I'm going to get my bone folder because my knuckles are really sore. Our weather here is just wreaking havoc on my pain levels. And I especially have arthritis pain a lot here in this thumb, and so it is sometimes more difficult than I think it should be to do certain things, or just more painful. If it's not more difficult, it's sometimes more painful. Well, that tore really well. Okay. So let's set that one to the side and think about what we're going to do with this one. And like I said, today is Tag Tuesday. And I'm thinking about maybe making a, what's it called? A matchbook tag. So that it would be like a notepad. Not like a notepad, it would be a notepad. But in the form of a matchbook. So it will be a tag, but it will also be a notepad. I think that's too narrow of a area that I need to trim off to try tearing that. Okay, so I'm going to get some paper so that I can make my notepad in here. And I'm going to get it out of my scrap paper file. You can see it says lined, and some of those lines may mean that it's graph paper. Oh, look, that's just almost perfect to be the first layer. All right, so we will just go, I will, if you're doing this with me, then we will go ahead and cut on that line. And I know I'm going to have to cut some of the length off, but I think I want to fold it first and get all my papers together before I start cutting off length. All right, so there's one. Let's see. This one I know has a note on the inside to me. Let's see. But I think no, I think I'll save that for another one. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I was getting ready to say that's not lined paper, but it is lined paper. Does that go with my, ooh, that color matches. So I think for this one, I'm going to try tearing it. I think I'll tear it on this side so that I don't have to worry about that brand right there. And yes, it's shorter, but I want it to be kind of a waterfall. So put this in the stack of what we're going to use. I don't think those are long enough. I like for my papers to be going the right direction, but sometimes you can add a little interest by turning it the other way. So I may throw a piece of this in there. And once again, yes, I know it's too long, but when you're making the waterfall, you're going to need different lengths. And that gives me room to cut them off at different lengths. And I'm actually going to leave both of those in there. And see, there's one. I like that. This is one of my, I think this is tomatillo paper. What am I doing here? Sorry, I know that makes a lot of noise on the recording when I'm flipping and flopping paper around. I got a little excited because I found this though. And let's see if we can find one more. Okay, that was too easy. Maybe two more. I want something with just a little different. Yep, I think that'll work. And then if I feel like I need something else, I can always come back in. All right, now when I did this, I ended up with this really long piece, and I am going to use it on the very back. And how I'm going to do this, I'm going to cut off the back at the very almost edge of that piece. And then I'm going to open this up. And then I'm going to lay down the one I want to do next, which I think will be this one. And I'm just going to come up. This is where I'm using my mat because it's got 1/4 inch measures. And so I'm going to line up this one on the 1/4 inch so that I can line up the papers that go above it on the 1/4 inch. Follow that? This one might be too much. This will be the last one. All right, now I am going to put my ruler where my fold is on my cover on the gift bag so that I can make sure that I fold all of these papers on that line. I'm holding the ruler down really tight. And I wasn't lined up on the line. How did I do that? Okay. Oh, because I shifted. That's right. Okay, so double check before you do that. Otherwise, you're going to have to do it twice like me. All right, now let's do this again. We'll do that, and then 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 that. Now, I did not do this before, haven't done this before, so I'm not sure exactly how this is going to turn out. What my plan was to go ahead and continue the 1/4 inch deal. So, a 1/4 inch up from this edge is going to be here. All right, so I am going to try to tear that off. And then this one is a 1/4 inch up from that, and I'm not going to be able to tear that, so I'm going to have to snip that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to continue the pattern here. Okay, and so a 1/4 inch up from that one is going to be on that line. It's funny how using your scraps makes more scraps. It surprises me every single time that, oh my goodness, I just made more scraps. You would think that there would come a time when I would not be surprised by that. There will come a day when I'm not surprised, but today is not that day. Okay, I think this is actually going to work. Should not have said that. Now it's not going to work. I don't know that. I'm actually really liking the way it's looking right now. All right, and the last one right there. Yes, I really, really like that. All right, so I am going to put a clip on this real quick so it doesn't shift. Yep. And I am going to get my binding kit, my book binding kit out, and I am going to poke a couple of holes up here, but I'm going to poke them far enough in that it can still be a tag. Whenever I cut the ends off, I don't want it to undo my binding. All right, I think that going from that side will still give me, whoops, I need to open it up before I put the clip on. All right, so let's find the middle, which is, yes, this one. All right, and I'm going to put the clip on right here, which I am pretty sure still encompasses all the layers there. And I am going to go ahead and poke. Let's see, I don't know that I want to mess with a 3-hole on something this small. So I think I am just going to go with the 2. And this is 2.5 inches, so I need to go at 1 3/4. That's half. And so if I go a 1/4 inch that way and a 1/4 inch that way, so I'm going to make a little nick there, and then I'm just going to go ahead and punch through there and there. So I've got my 2 holes, and this is a waxed linen or bookbinder's thread, and I believe I have it linked in my Amazon favorites. I am not an affiliate. I get nothing from it other than the satisfaction of knowing I've helped somebody else find things that I really like and I think are worth recommending. So you can go ahead and check that out without feeling like you have to do a thing. All right, so I'm going to tie this. And one of the something that I really like about this waxed thread is that it kind of grabs itself. I think that the wax grabs and it sticks. So I'm going to do what I've been told is a surgeon's knot, but I've heard other people call it different kinds of knots. And it's just where you make the crisscross but then you make a second crisscross into it. Okay, I'm going to leave those for right now because I don't know for the moment what I'm going to do with them. I do know that I need to, see, that's just a little bit too long down there. It's right in that crevice. So I am going to just cut off a little bit. I know it loses my torn edge, but sometimes things happen. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to get my stapler, or I could stitch across here with my waxed thread. And what I'm wanting to do is to make it to where this flap wants to stay closed. It doesn't want to open up like that. And so if you glue it down here, it might work sometimes. I think I have enough papers in here that that's not gonna be an option really. You can staple across here, especially if you use like tiny attacher staples or something like that. And I may do that. I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens. Or I have seen someone take and sew a button down here. And that was enough to keep this closed because you stitch the button here, but the button's larger than that. Matter of fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go check out my buttons. I'm going to put that across there just to train it to stay down. And here is my jar of pink buttons. This is one of my favorite frozen treats. It's Talenti. And all of my buttons are stored in these Talenti jars. That is way too big for that, I think. Because it almost looks clownish, and that's not the look I'm going for. And I think I want to stick with a 2-hole so that I can just keep my stitches holding it on right down at the bottom. That's too dark. That's too light. Okay, I'm going to turn the volume down. And get my bowl out here so I can just do my buttons. I didn't turn the volume down, I'm sorry. I was still talking, so I really couldn't turn it down, could I? That's strange button. That's too peach. All right, so I've got it narrowed down to these 4. And I know I'm going to have to put something across there before I put the button down, but I think I just want to figure out which button I'm going to use first. I really like this. This one picks up on the gold dots that are on the gift wrap. And I could come back with the Wink of Stella and go over each of those dots to give them that same sparkle. This one has just a little bit of sparkle in it, but I can't tell if it's a gold or a silver sparkle, so I'm not real sure. I think that not that one right now. And then that one's just simple, but it's also the same color as that one. Which one? Which one? I could actually, and I think that might impede the top from opening very well. I think I'm going to go with that one just because it's the exact color. So I am going to cut a little bit more thread. It's not thread. It is what thread. It's waxed linen bookbinding thread. So I wasn't wrong. Okay. Now, before I start this, I'm going to open that up. I'm going to place this right down here at the edge, and I'm going to poke my holes so I'm not struggling to push that through with my needle. And this will get through both layers, and I will know it's exactly in the right place. And I think I'm going to put just a little bit of glue there to start on my button. In here and on my button. This is me thinking as I go. Instead of having it all planned out to begin with, to make it much easier for you to follow. And the reason I put the glue there was not only to help hold the button in place, because it's really not holding the button in place while I'm sewing, but it also will help to strengthen that, let's see, joint that we are making. Is it a joint? It's where things come together, so I'm going to say it's a joint that we're making. All right, I'm going to even these out. And tie my knot again. I go through one time, then I go through the second time. And I am going to go ahead and clip that one off. And now this will tuck right down in there, just like that. And I didn't put anything on there before I sewed the button on because I got all excited about what I was going to do. And I've got to decide what I'm doing with those strings as well. So I'm going to look through. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and, number one, I'm going to trim these edges, just because I feel like it makes for a neater look when it's tucked in and you don't have the corners sticking out of the edges. I have a very hard time doing this cut with the corners from the previous cut because I just can't hold on to it. Oh goodness. All right, and so that'll tuck in there just like that. And now I need to also, before I forget about it, make my tag topper. So I think I'm going to cut right there, and I'm not even going to try that. I'm just going to line it up visually. I think that was pretty close. If it's not on it, it's pretty close. All right, so I'm going to look through some of my fussy cuts from my other project and see what I want to put on there for that. This isn't a fussy cut, this is an offcut. It could be folded around that. And then something else put there. Let me see what else I have. There's not a whole lot of linear things in here. think I could make a little collage here out of that scrap and that egg and this label. And then I'll just put something up here in the corner to balance it out, like a butterfly or something. All right. And I'm just going to do this around the egg because my cutting was really, really wonky. And so I just kind of need to soften the edges. It is hard to cut out an egg. But in real life, I don't know if you've ever noticed, look in your egg carton next time. You will find they are not all exactly the same oval. So maybe that'll make you feel a little bit better about how you cut things out as well. Because in nature, there's nothing that is perfect. It is perfectly imperfect. All right, so I am going to glue, let me get this straight in my head first. I am going to glue this here, and then I'm going to glue on the egg, and then I'm going to glue on the label. Now the egg is not going to sit all the way on the paper, so I need to kind of make a note of where not to put the glue. That's pretty good. There we go. I can do that. So I am going to cut this on those fold lines. And I know I'm cutting it a lot longer than I need to, but I want to make sure that it's as long as I need it, because I'm not sure exactly. All right, so I want it to be, it is 2.5 inches, so I'm going to go with 2.5 inches. And then I am going to come up 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. So 2.5 and 4 inches. That helped me figure out what it was that I needed to do on the front still yet. All right. Now it's done. This is going to be a part of a journal that I am working on. A project, I should say, that includes a journal, but it has a lot of other things too. For the 5 Days of Easter collab with Dear Julie, and Kara Brandon Creations. And also, like I said, this tag collaboration is a part of one that is hosted by Sherry at Turquoise Dreaming. So, lots of places to check out for you. I'm still not sure about that bow. I thought I would just add it, but here is the front. Here's the back. And here is the inside. So this is our matchbook tag notepad. Thank you for joining me today, and as always, be kind. Bye.